Humans build cities, write books, and send rockets into space. But there's one thing even more universal. We wear clothes. From tropical islands to Arctic tundras, every human culture on Earth has developed some form of clothing. But here's the question: why? Why are we the only species on the planet that chooses to cover itself, not just for warmth, but for status, style, and identity? Today on Why, we explore how clothing became a defining trait of our species and what it says about who we really are. The earliest clothing likely emerged between 100,000 and 500,000 years ago, long before civilization or agriculture. Archaeologists believe early humans began using animal hides to protect themselves from harsh climates as they migrated out of Africa. We know this in part by studying clothing lice, a parasite that only lives in fabric. By analyzing their DNA, scientists traced the split from head lice to clothing lice around 170,000 years ago, suggesting that's when we started dressing. At first, clothes were survival tools, but it didn't stay that way for long. Unlike other animals, humans have very little body hair. As we evolved, we traded fur for adaptability, and tools like clothing helped us survive in almost any environment. But humans didn't stop at practicality. We began decorating our clothing, painting hides, adding beads, stitching designs. Suddenly, clothes weren't just about function, they were about self-expression, tribal belonging, and status. What started as insulation became a kind of language. In a sense, clothing became the first wearable technology, not to boost our bodies, but to broadcast our minds. Modern psychology confirms what ancient humans intuitively knew: clothing affects the way others see us, and the way we see ourselves. This is called enclothed cognition. Studies show that people perform better on tests when wearing a lab coat they believe belongs to a doctor. Police uniforms can increase authority. Expensive-looking clothes influence perceived intelligence. What you wear doesn't just signal identity, it shapes behavior. Clothing has become an interface between the self and society. No other species creates that kind of social feedback loop. Only humans wear symbols on their skin. Throughout history, clothing has also been used to control. Royal garments, religious robes, and military uniforms tell us who's in charge. Even laws, like sumptuary laws in medieval Europe, dictated who could wear silk, fur, or certain colors. In many cultures, what you wore literally determined your rank, profession, or punishment. Fashion wasn't just personal, it was political. In some regimes, people were executed for dressing above their class. In others, rebels used clothing to fight oppression. The fabric on your back could spark a revolution or silence one. Today, fashion is faster than ever. We no longer sew to survive, we buy to belong. Clothing brands now shape social identity more than religion or politics in some demographics. And with social media, we project new identities with every outfit change, story post, or avatar skin. Yet behind the trends is a deeper question. Why do we still care so much about clothes? The answer may be this: clothing is a mirror, not just of who we are, but who we want to be seen as. And in a world where status and story matter more than survival, that mirror still holds power. Humans are the only species that wear clothes, not just because we can, but because we must. Our bodies evolved for freedom, but our minds evolved for meaning. And in every thread, we weave a bit of both. Thanks for watching Why. Subscribe for more strange, brilliant, and often invisible truths about the way we live.